Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome. Today we are watching a new show, a new seasonal show that's been airing right now. Now, this is something that I have had no idea. It's been on the back burner for me to watch, but I've been strongly recommended this show by my sister, who I share a lot of similar interests when it comes to anime. So she gave a very strong recommendation. This is a must watch. So here I am, expectations raised high because apparently this is a very peculiar show with something, in her words, that she has not seen other shows doing in maybe story execution or concepts. I don't know. I kept myself to a minimum with the spoilers, so I'm really excited to see a different kind of a show. Yeah, let's just jump into it. I think this is currently on its 8th or 9th episode. I'm hoping to catch up quickly within the next few weeks so we can watch it week by week as it airs. So yeah, let's just jump in. Hopefully this will give me some good fodder for theory crafting. But without further ado, let's dive right in. First point. Am I going to learn economics? Okay. I like where you're heading with this. A bit philosophical. Oh. That. Huh. Like I said, I have no idea what this show is about. I didn't even know it's set in a medieval, a fantasy world or something. I haven't even seen the poster properly. I like the vibe. Cold opening with asking some hard questions. I'm very excited. I hope this is amazing. Yeah, I've seen this guy on the poster. Oh my god, the fingernail. Oh, I know that voice. Then 9 more left. Scholar. Okay, so that's what we're going with. Knowledge is sin. Well, you got toenails also. I feel like a torture. Oh my god, he collects all of them. Huh? Oh fuck. Oh god, that is a line. Shit. I really like the vibe of the show. It doesn't feel like anime. I mean it in the highest compliment. Like no exposition, no fast execution, things are just happening. You're meant to read between the lines. 15th century, right?
根拠はいくつかありますが、
Before Kepler.
アリストテレス曰く、地球が宇宙で最も低い地点、中心にあるからです。さすがだ、我が息子よ。光栄です、音月さん。なんと、この度ラファウが大学に行くことになった。もうなんかやばいので。He's 12 years old. Looks a lot older for 12. 技術、地理学。
He looks like a cocky brat. Not gonna lie.
もちろん。進学を学びたいと思います。進学は
Okay, he's putting on an act.
頂点です。僕らが生きているのも
Yeah.
神のおかげ。
He's too smart for this.
学問を
He knows exactly what to say.
素晴らしい。世界。それ。
I didn't even think this could be an isekai.
大変申し訳ないが、この世はバカばっかだ。脆弱と罪要素満載だった。が、その前に生きるのがうまかった。合理的な選択をすれば、この世は快適に過ごせる。
Sure. To what end?
合理的なものは常に美しいのだ。このコハンスキ君のように単純な人はすぐ僕を尊敬してくれるから大変好ましい。ってよりむしろ神。あ、
Oh,
神
that might be
何言ってるん
blasphemous.
ですか。
発言を撤回します。ごめんなさい。
Height of
以上で今日
religious
の
power
講義は終了だ。
during the
神の
century.
ご加護。
I mean, this could be the real world, right? Just in the 15th century.
ああ、そうだ
We
な。
haven't seen any signs
ちょっ
of
と頼み事だ
anything fantastical.
それは製氷か。
はい。
これからはすべての時間を進学に割くんだ。天文はやめろ。いいな。
How far will you go to be compliant? I mean, that is your philosophy, right?
頼み事だが、明日
The most rational way of
クベ
living.
ルトの身柄を引き取ってほしい。
よろしいのですか。
ああ、大丈夫だ。改心したから釈放される。罪を許せるのも敬虔な信徒の証だ。住まいも私の別宅を貸す。
I really like this slow burn.
天文なんてやってる暇。
On the movements of Earth, right? That's what the show is about. Man.
いやいや、空のことは忘れろ。
He's got the scholar's
そうだって
soul.
いい。と遠くの世界の話だ。どんなに背伸びしたって人間は近づけない。
I always wonder if, you know, if philosophers at those in those centuries, you know, back in the past could see how far we have
一体
come
どんな人なの
with space travel, what
何
would
に
they
せよ
think?
上手に生きていない。
Okay. Fucking hell, man. Being burned alive.
うーん。
This guy.
すみません。フォト付きの義理の息子ラファウです。
I despise people who abuse
うわ、
religion.
でかっ。やば。なんだこの怪しさしかない人は。
It's probably has a cheery attitude.
私は君に利益を与えない。好かれようと作り笑顔なんてしなくていい。
Okay. Keeping it real.
では、案内頼む。
He reminds me of Rudius from Mushoku Tensei. Yeah. The way he's acting all prim and bright.
大学へ行くんだ。
はい、光栄なことに。
天文を学ぶのか。星を見るんだ。アストロラーベを持ち歩くな。
Oh.
不純だな。
Okay. Seems to read right through him.
そのローマン、観測記録か。
おはい。僕なりにできる範囲。
見せてくれ。
ちょっと。
素晴らしい。
Mm.
六等星まで見えてるとは。これで研究が続けられる。
はい。もちろん。
Haven't you recanted?
私は学者だ。誰に何を言われても研究を捨てるつもりはない。まあ、これからもバレないよう騙し続ける。
What will you do? Oh fuck. Oh.
いいか、研究には観測が必要だ。しかし私は目が弱ってしまった。私はやり残したことがあるから戻ってきた。そのためには火に立って飛び込む。これは命令だ。いいな。はい。安心しろ。あまり理不尽は言わない。
I'm a perfectly rational man.
信頼できるところです。
もっといい観測値がある。驚くぞ。なんだ。もっといい観測値がある。驚くぞ。
Not gonna let that chance go.
行くわけない。行ったっていいことない。
Look at him stomp his feet. Trying to reassure himself. Wow.
すごい。来てよかった。こんなにくっきり見えるなんて。
Damn, it's been so long since I have seen stars living in a
そうだろう。こ
freaking
こは
city.
高度も高く視界も開けているし、あの岩と山の位置がオリオンのベルトと似通っているのを気に入っている。
I know next to nothing about all this, so this is super interesting. Is that a sextant? No, astrolabe. He said it's an astrolabe. Sextant is different.
すごい。短時間でこんなに大量の。
どうも禁じられた研究って
Oh, right. Maybe it's to
No.
go against the notion that Earth is the center of the universe, right?
君はアリスタルコスを知っているか？
なんですそれ。
では、宇宙がどういう形をしているか知っているか？
はい、地球が中心で全ての天体はその周りを複雑に回っています。こんなもんでしょうか。
Whoa.
地球は特別なので神様は宇宙の中心に作ると思いますが、
この真理は美しいか？
個人の感覚的反応です。学術的真実とは関係ないですよ。
答えを避けている。
まあ少し煩雑すぎる気はします。秩序を持たないバラバラな動きは合理的には見えない。
私は美しくない宇宙に行きたくない。
そんなこと言ったって美しさで理屈をないがしろにしたら本末転倒ですよ。
もし太陽も星も動かなかったら。
いやいや、さすがにそんなの成立しない。動いているのは何なんです？
地球だ。
地球。
God, I love this.
そんなわけ。え？地球？
It's like I'm going through a revelation along with him.
そうだ。さらに季節が変わるのは地球が太陽を軸として回る。そこでは太陽は静止し、お式は覆り、教会は激怒し、美しさと理屈が落ち合う。これが私の研究だ。そうだな。それを。
Cue title.
地動説とでも呼ぼうか。
Ah. Keeping the sun at the center. To think that I'm getting this in an anime. All right, what an interesting show. I mean it, no exaggeration. I'm so glad I was recommended the show. I'm so. It's so interesting that such a concept, such a story, about the actual histories, a point in time, and to focus it on not action, not shonen, not comedy, not romance, high school, rom-com, all that stuff, but to focus on such a concept in anime. It's pretty rare, but these are the kind of stories I really want to see in anime explored more, because you can only have so much of the same formula, right? You got your shonen, battle shonen, you got your high school rom-com, you've got your isekai shows, but anything in animation always feels much better to me than live action, and I'm so glad I get to watch this show because it is grounded in realism. I did look up Aristarchus, I believe, Aristarchus of Samos. So what I wanted to share earlier was that he was the first one to make this theory about the Earth not being at the center, right? Because of the distance between the sun and the moon from Earth. Taking that reference point, the Earth couldn't be at the center. And then Copernicus, as we all knew, made it, established it, which became the common sense later on, around the 14th, 15th century. So that's where we're dealing with, right? The 15th century. But before that, let's talk about the show itself and the themes it wants us to focus on, because the opening of any show, what lines they speak, what they show, obviously has a very big impact on where they want to draw the audience focus on. So this world in the 14th, 15th century, as we know, was heavily controlled by the church, right, with an iron grip. Anything they choose not to, anything they chose as heresy, you just can't go against the church, right? Any kind of established lore that they choose, that's the truth. So researchers, philosophers, artists, people of medicine, all of them were burned as heretics. It was a pretty dark time. I mean, we all know that. So putting us in that setting, and with the cold open, right? What are you going to sacrifice to obtain the truth of the universe? Basically, your life, or maybe not just your life, but a lot of lives, a lot of scholars over many generations. It might take all of those lives to bring forth the truth to the people, to the masses, under the control of the church. That those stories really grip me. They're very, very interesting because some very dark but very amazing stories can be weaved through that. The themes, right? And we see here with centered around this kid, and straight away I knew from his expression, the way he was looking around, the way his face is drawn, he's not a dumb he's not an idiot. He knows how to play this world for some time. That's what he thinks, but we'll come back to him later. My thoughts are all over the place because there's so much I want to talk about, but let's go scene by scene, starting with this torture of this poor guy who we see burn at the stake later on, right? And this was a common thing with the executioners, not executioners, what would I call this guy? Maybe an executioner of the church, or I don't know the right word for people in his line of work. But yeah, this was a very chilling scene because when he got those nails out, 68 nails, that's how long I'm willing to wait to get the truth out of you. And he most likely succeeded with that line. But yeah, then we jump to this very interesting scene in a class, shaping young minds when they're still soft clay, molding them into the way you want. It's very interesting to think just how much influence the church would have on schools, right? Religious playgrounds. So the teachers would definitely be heavily scrutinized. The syllabus, whatever they're teaching, would be heavily monitored. And we see here an example of students giving the right answer, and then our boy Raphael just winging it, that Earth is the center of the world, because of course God has intended it to be, since humans are God's creation and we've put on this earth. So rationally speaking, we must be at the center of the universe. There can be no other truth. Anything else is blasphemous, and you will be burned at the stake. I like this guy's worldview. He thinks he is very rational and he's got a good grasp of the world, but we see the naivety in his thoughts. It's very subtle, and things that he'll only realize when he grows older, that his philosophy of living life rationally will only get him so far, and he immediately gets tested when he meets the other guy later on, that as long as you live by the world's rules and don't not get yourself in trouble, play everyone like a fiddle, you will be able to live in peace. But there's this thing called your soul, your heart, what you desire. It's only so long that you can ignore it. Like he clearly wants to go for study of science and maths, but he chooses theology because he wants to live in peace. And immediately his worldview gets tested when he is told by the professor that since you picked theology, all of this has to go, which is a shocking revelation, but I'm surprised he didn't think that this would happen. He is still being tested by the truth of the world, like he's still somewhat protected, though he has come from poverty, so he does know how dark and how unfair the world can be. But it is interesting to see that he hasn't completely grasped what he's dealing with and what he wants, what his desire is, what he wants to do, what his purpose is. Again, here we see the philosopher being burned with the executioner. I feel like that guy is voiced by I forget his name, but you hear his voice immediately, oh yeah, it's that voice actor. So he's gonna be an important player in this story. Yeah, in walks I forget his name, and Hubert is a man of science and not a man of bullshit and pretenses. He sees right through Raphael. Keep it real with me. Philosophers and scientists, they can be pretty awkward with their emotions and pretty stern and direct sometimes, as this man is. And obviously he's not taking any chances. He's already been convicted, and he's one of the lucky few who got a second chance to do what his heart desires, even though it might be blasphemous. He's got a pretty strong will. He wants to continue his research, as we see later just how profound that research can be. But yeah, he's put him at gunpoint, or as I should say knife point, to do his bidding, essentially blackmailing, because if he wants to, he can turn Raphael in, right? Because in these times the church led people through fear and obedience, the two sides. If you want to show your loyalty and obedience, sniff anyone out that you feel is a heretic. Otherwise, they might do it first to you. It's like a prisoner's dilemma. I'm going to blackmail you and turn you in if you try to walk away from me. I'm going to stab you in the back before you do me. Because the church is just looking for reasons to show the masses that, we mean business. And obviously, with any such rule, the public will obviously want to distance themselves as much as possible from the heretics, from the naysayers, from the disbelievers. So no one's going to help you. Kind of like in the Cold War, right, between West and East Germany. Was it the Cold War? Okay, I'm not very good with history. But yeah, all of this is the background of what the focus will be in this anime. It's not about so much the religion versus science. Maybe it is, but it's more towards discovering the truth of the world, the truth of the universe, our place in the world. And this is just amazing. This might be the thumbnail I put, because you see the joy and the wonder on this kid's face. And it's so interesting that these days everything is available to us very easily, on the internet. So we often take knowledge for granted, the access to knowledge for granted. But back in the day, it took so much effort to go out of your way. It took generations of multiple people working on the same paper, on the same theories, to arrive at the truth, to modify it, to test it, to evolve it. And those moments where you realize something to be true, and then the whole world gets shaken, like it happens here when he asks him what is the shape of the cosmos. And first he gives him a similar answer to what he would give in the school, right? The spoon-fed answers, the answer that does not require a lot of questions to be asked. Just here's the question, here's the answer, you're done. But here he gets challenged. Tell me your opinions, not the opinions of the book that you have read in school, but tell me, what do you think? Do you think this makes sense? Is this idea of the earth being in the center and all the elements of the space spiraling around it, does this seem beautiful to you? There was someone who said that the truth is often beautiful. So like what he says here, right, that beauty and truth unite together, something like that. Do you find it to be beautiful? Do you find it to be truth? Because the truth has to be beautiful. And this is just way too over-engineered, overly complicated, and doesn't make sense. That the universe being so vast with so many things, and we would be at the center of the universe, just doesn't make sense, right? what he says here, that with this model every planet's orbit has to be calculated individually. God would not create something this clunky. This is so interesting. Like, I'm basically seeing history being revealed to us through the protagonist's character. I don't know who this protagonist might be, if he is a named figure, because clearly this is the real world, right? He quotes Aristarchus. I am butchering that name. So this is. I'm really surprised that there's a manga written about such a niche story in terms of when you look at other stories in anime. I'm really happy that such a story exists and we get to explore this in anime format, not in live action or a movie. But you see here, right here, and as he is being told all this, all the gears in his mind are turning. Everything suddenly starts to make sense. And he's a smart kid, you see him reveal his notes to the older guy who has had many more years of experience, and he sees this kid is very sharp, he's got potential. So he takes him under his wing against his will. But yeah, this feels so epic. Like, this is just the first episode. It's not a big, fight scenes, nothing action heavy. There's no big giant demon, but the show's beautiful. The way it's directed, it knows its audience. I really love it. The search for truth and the wonder it can create. I really love the space, the universe. So something like this is very much appreciated. I really want to go through this journey with him and discover the truth. And this is just the first episode, so I don't know where they'll take it. Like, will it be more of a character journey, or will it be more science-based, exploring a lot of theories, or will it be heavily thematic about the church's role in, dissuading people from science? And there is a tragedy to this story and stories like this back when the church used to rule, govern the people. So many discoveries were hampered or downright burnt. If you know about the Library of Alexandria in the 10th or 11th century, I don't know when it was, but it was burnt because of some kind of conspiracy, or they thought that these were the enemy's books, or some kind of they felt like it was traitorous knowledge, something like that. I'm not really sure, but it had centuries worth of knowledge, and we could have advanced our civilization so much farther had they not burned that. And so many things that these guys, they had to go out of their way to discover. And if the church had not done this, we would have been far into the future, maybe centuries into the future, because it's like how scientific progression is not linear, right? It's exponential. So that curve would have been drawn 3 centuries earlier. Just imagine where we could be. It's a very tragic fate that most of these people had to go through, and despite that, their will to find the truth, they were willing to trade their lives as sacrifice. That's the opening line of this show, right? What would you give to know the truth of the world? Your life, your colleagues' lives, the lives of those scholars and philosophers who will come after you. This is an amazing show. I cannot gush about the potential of this enough. We need more shows like this. This was really refreshing. I'm so excited to see where Hubert and Raphael go with this, and how they together discover more things, how they try to keep their studies a secret, what Raphael learns. I really hope we develop his character a lot, and how his naive persona gets tested, living a rational life, how far that will actually take you. A few things more that I would like to share, but I'll keep it for the next episode. I'm sure there'll be a lot of overflow of thoughts that will connect between episodes. So I'll leave it at that. Amazing episode, really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the second one. I might record it separately because this video has gone for too long. I might join it with this one. I have no idea. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, let's get this show on.
美しさと理屈が落ち合う。そこでは宇宙は一つの秩序に統合され
Everything clicks in place.
いや
Can't deny it.
普通に間違ってると思う。
Oh, really? You want a challenge?
理由は3つです。
God, I love this show. I don't know why I love this show, but I love this show.
矛盾が多すぎる。例えば地球が動いているなら
We should be feeling it. Gravity.
なぜジャンプしても同じ位置に着地するんです地球が動いていたとして
So interesting that we know the answers, but it's because of people like them who argued and debated and thought about it.
神様が人の住む星を
So hard to challenge the notion that has been cemented by so many people in so many centuries.
で3つ目
You have to lay an entire new
そんな瞬
foundation.
間に命を預けるのは愚かだ
三つ目には反対だ。私は命を張る場面でこそ構わない。不正解は無意味を意味しない。
Wow.
なんてものを美しいと思わない
Give
し
some thought.
証明のために火にも飛び込まないいや
では、明日も頼んだぞ。
You can't lie through it.
自転と公転の2種類もほらわずかだけど今だってこの空は確かに動いてる自転一つ取ってもありえない
Yeah, intuitively on first glance. Whoa. It's like the earth was moving as he fell down. So cool.
僕としたことが山がひっくり返るでもそれは僕が動いたからで
Yeah.
実際に山が動いた
Yeah. You were the reference
そんな
point.
ことは当たり前
Wow, this is so interesting.
でも
It's not because
この当たり前を延長したの
it's because his train of thought, how he's trying to get to the truth, so interesting.
僕が地球で山が太陽なら
It's like I'm watching something profound in
観測
history.
者が動くなら
Holy shit, it shows me. The way it's portraying something so obvious to us, it's so beautiful.
いや100歩譲って自転してたとしてつまり誘導円は太陽の軌道と一緒で地球がそれらの誘導円を率いて太陽の周りを回っていると考えると
I'm not as smart.
捕まる危険もある追い求める理由がない全宇宙が一つの秩序にのっとって動くそうじゃなきゃあんな巨大な天が一つの発想でこんなに合理的に動いてしまったら
My man is death
この
note
説を
light right now. I must not
美
believe
しい
it,
と
even
思
though
っ
it
て
is.
しまう
There you go. Well, now we know that it's not exactly the same plane. But yeah, this is a big leap forward. Oh,
何かあったのか。
he's beginning to see it.
危険を冒して天国を捨ててまでこんなことをしてるんです神を否定したいのですか
人は皆、この世は醜く、貪欲で汚れていて、
Yeah.
あの世は清く美しいという性だけ携えて、私のこの小さな当該の中で、神の偉業を理解してみせる。故に、私は聖書ではなく、自然を読むのだ。
Wow.
そ
That's a line.
そんな人生
I read not the words of God, but his works.
怖い。怖くない人生など、その本質を書く。
Man is spitting facts.
観測は今日で終わりだ。
え、僕は明日から何を
さあな、今までありがとう。
Oh man, is he actually walking out of the show or will we meet him again? He's shown you the truth. You can't, that itch in your mind, you can't stop it.
おーい
ああ、
God, he wears those bloody sleeves.
ウェルドさんの改心後の動向を聞き取りしててね。
そうですか
So he
ウェ
knew
ル
it
ドさん
was
が
his
立派
last
に構
night.
成してつつましく
That's why he
暮らしてます
said,
よ
you know, you have to carry on
それは
alone.
よかった。そんでさ、
Oh shit, 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 shit. Oh my god, I hate this shirt so much.
何これ
It's like restricting someone's freedom.
何これ
その子供の部屋に隠せば見つかりづらいと思ったが
Fuck.
バレてしまってはしょうがない。私はやり残したことがあるから戻ってきた。こんな子供に私の研究が手伝えるとでも。
いやー、それもそうですね。すまなかったね、ラファウ君。では、フベルトを連行しろ。
ちょっとそんな急に。
これを君に渡しに来たんだ。
Oh, wow, from the opening.
じゃあな。
Now can you understand the rationality behind his actions?
本当に行くんですか？やり残したことは？
Careful now.
たった今やったよ。
そしてフベルトさんは
He's basically handed you the torch.
死んだ僕をかばって滅亡し、オリオンのベルト、なんで中心のアルニラムだけ黒く？
あの岩と山の位置がオリオンのベルトと似通ってい
Maybe
るのを
you have
気
to
に
go there. There's something buried there. His works, his life's work. He's only 12 years old. I keep
アル
forgetting.
ニラムを示す山まで来てみたものの、この手紙を読んでいるあなたへ。
ぶしつけな前置きで申し訳ないが、私はあなたが誰だか知らない。しかし、最も信用のおける者に
This must be before he got convicted the first time, right?
どうか
To think he won his heart in such a short time.
私は誰より地動説に接近した自信がある。不定要素が多すぎる。きっと本当に神の領域なのだろう。あなたなら燃やせる。あなたの理屈は私の直感よりずっと強い。あなたならやれる。
確かに地動説はすごいアイデアだ。でもあまりに危険で、フベルトさんの言う通り、僕の理屈は書物を燃やした。だけど燃やす理屈なんかより、僕の直感は地動説を信じたい。
He said earlier, right? He didn't want to step through the fire.
名乗り惜しいがラファンは今日をもって香港を旅立つ。
Jesus.
その通り。では
It's like indoctrination in
お別
action.
れの挨拶を。
僕は天文を学びます。この世はバカばっかりだ。でも気づいたらその先頭に僕が立ってた。本当の僕は
That's
清
what I
廉
want
で
to
も
see.
聡明でも謙虚でも有力でもなく、そして今から地球を動かす。
Now I'm going to move the earth. That is a line. Wow. This show has it all that any epic,
はいよ。
action heavy anime could have
道端で子供が泣いてちゃ無視
without having any action. What
突
was
然
the
の
reason?
ご無礼をお許しください。
Oh, he's still alive. Or it's a different person.
私には子供が。
Same child.
本当ですか。これ娘からの手紙、いつも持ち歩いてるんですよ。癒しと元気、それと我が子への愛が私の生きる理由です。あの子には辛い思いをしてほしくない。正直私は世界や人類を守ろうなんて大それたことを思っちゃいない。日々の信仰や生活を守るためなら何だってする。じゃあ
Oh my
君この子だ
god.
ったの。
That's from the opening of the first show. Oh my god. Did he leave the child just like that?
私は家族と夕飯だ。
奥さんは出家せず在族でやってる。よく知らないが 司教様に腕を買われて特例で任に当たっている。そんな血に汚れた手で聖職を。考えられない。司教様にも訳があるんだよ。進学をやめたどころか、よりにもよって天文
He
を
lives with him because he's the one who found him when he was poor, right on the streets.
発言を撤回しない限り、私はこの入学許可書にサインしないぞ。
ここ最近の僕は先日行った急激な方向転換により将来が極めて危うくなっていた。
さあ、宣言してくれ。天文はやらないと。
Come on, genius.
というわけで了解です。宣言します。言葉では何とでも言える。嘘ほど便利なものはない。
You can lie through words, but your actions, how would you lie through that?
進学で入学しても後で天文に編入できる。3、40年はかかるだろう。
How much would the written subjects
You
actually
remember
help
that,
him?
right?
Because it would all be heavily regulated, right?
確実に進めるんだ。あれほど天文を毛嫌いしているのにどうしてこの家にはこんなに資料
Oh yeah,
が
I
ある
was
んだ。
gonna bring this fact in the previous episode. Oh, is it over? Alright, episode 2 of this amazing show. We had some very cool moments in this second episode, and I first want to touch on the direction of the show. Even though we're, working with some very, I would say, in a way, dry topics, not very exciting on paper to a lot of people, but the way they presented through this protagonist character and the danger and thrills and the pursuit of knowledge and how they structure the show, it has all the elements of any amazing anime, right? You have the underdog protagonist who is going against the grain all alone. You have the old master who is passing on his work to the young disciple. You have the antagonist, who is just around the corner. You have the influence of the bigger enemy, the church. You have this clear-cut goal with the character who is on a self-exploration of his character and what he wants and the truth. A lot of amazing elements. That's what makes the show really interesting. And I've said this before, we know all the truth, right? We know the obvious. There's nothing, I would say, when it comes to the pursuit of what's going to happen, the big secrets of the story, we all know the truth, right? But it's still so very interesting for this character to go through that journey. One of my favorite characters in Hunter x Hunter, which is my favorite show, is Killua. And something that I really look forward to with his character is when he starts puzzling, bring the puzzle pieces together and stringing his theories as to what has happened. It's very fun to see his line of thought. Something that we already know, but it's very interesting to see how he came there and the realizations he goes through. It's like the same for this character, but even better because it's going to shape his whole personality, his whole outlook towards the world, right? And we see this moment right here when he flips over and he sees the mountains roll, just as if he's the reference point, he's the earth and he's the one rotating and the universe around him rotates. It's such a cool scene. It's like the apple falling over Newton moment right there, where everything just clicks into place. It's, something that seemed implausible suddenly starts to make sense if you shift your frame of reference. That was an amazing scene. And then he just goes into Light Yagami mode with the intense pen scribbling. And it's such a beautiful moment where he comes to this truth about how the planets would behave. Yes, sir.
Hello. Where are you?
I'm down.
Sorry?
I'm down.
Acha, I'm in office.
Okay.
Did you check with Shomik on what to do for that
No,
study?
he was busy. He said to come later, and Saksham was busy with GN. I came like 3-4 times.
Let me go and walk into him. And वो एक आर्टिकल लिखता था.
हाँ वो मैं कर रहा हूँ.
कर ले. आजा फिर. Bye.
Okay. and he arrives at this truth, of the universe, which we know as the solar system, but it's not the perfect figure, but that's for another philosopher, another scholar in another century to figure out. And then we come to this moment much later on, when we see him walk away from Raphael, and he knows that he's been caught. The church are after him. They're close to him, and he saves Raphael from this impending doom because he knows that his time is up, and it's up to Raphael and people smarter than him, more sharp, more wiser, not wiser, but more intelligent than him to carry his work. And here is a very interesting scene right here when he says, "Aren't you going to finish your work?" And he said that he already has, but it didn't hit me until we see the letter right here. Now this is very interesting because he wrote this letter before he got out. I believe he did that, and in his letter, when we see him with Raphael, it's like he truly believes in his idea of heliocentrism, right? That he knows that it to be the truth. But correct me if I'm wrong, but in the letter it seemed more like he was defeated, because he would be writing this letter only when his life is at stake, when he's no longer there, and he's entrusting to someone to not necessarily carry his work forward, but to burn it, because he feels that he has let himself down because he's not been able to cement his idea of this heliocentrism, right? It's still incomplete. There are too many uncertainties. It would never be accepted by the world, and so he pleads to whoever comes here that burn all this work. It's inadequate. It's incomplete. It's not good enough, and I am hoping that you come up with a better model. Not better my work necessarily. Maybe you have a completely different idea altogether. Maybe heliocentrism is wrong, so burn my work. So it feels that he has accepted defeat. So it could have gone one of two ways if he never found someone, and if he just found someone who proved him wrong, go there, burn my work. But here he feels like Raphael who's smarter than him in a way, but he also believes that heliocentrism could be true. So when he's at this point reading the letter, he chooses not to burn it because he wants to believe in it. So it's very interesting that it could have gone both ways, and when he was writing the letter, he did not know what would be the outcome. But when he hands him over the necklace, I feel like deep down he knows that his work will be move further. He will carry his work forward. So that I felt was pretty beautiful in a way, and it proved to be true. He did not burn it because he wants to believe in it, and he is going to. He's going to. I don't know who Raphael is in history. Maybe it is a fictional character. Maybe to represent a bunch of people in the actual history books, as can often be the case with fictional characters. But yeah, it was a very touching scene. It was a very powerful scene. Here he defies all logic, all rationale, the way he's been living so far, and he says, "I'm going to study astronomy," and despite all the risks it carries. I'll have to speed up the review a bit because I have to leave. But yeah, we get a brief glimpse of Novak. I believe his name is the Inquisitor. He's got his own philosophy on keeping, his life simple. He doesn't have to believe in the grand scheme, the big system, for the people, for the good of the people. It's simple, just keep his friends and family safe, keep the peace and order, and he'll do whatever it takes. And people like that are pretty dangerous because their philosophy is pretty simple, and simple meaning it's unshakable. It's very rudimentary, but it's also very cemented in simple things. I want to care for my friends and family, and if this is the way, I'll do it. No questions asked. And he definitely enjoys his work, seeing as his role before was a mercenary, and the priests over here even question that. Why would God through the bishop choose someone to bloody their hands? How could this be the will of God? But God needs devils to carry out dirty work. That's what the church would want them to believe. And yeah, he is he's living with the professor, right? And what I wanted to say earlier, I forgot in the first episode, is that it's not just that Raphael is someone who is thinking of these things, who is questioning the beliefs of the church. There can be people in multiple positions of power, right? All the way till the senior leader. Maybe not the leader himself, but people in positions of power, like the professors, right? But because of the fear, they would never expose themselves, and they would want people they care about to also not go astray, against the teachings of God for their own safety. And here we see that why is the professor's house full of books, right? He was someone like you, but he took an arrow to the knee, and he chose to not pursue such risks. And it's up to you to decide in your youth what path you will take, what path you will regret the least. So it is interesting to see that it's a lot of people who might be speaking something completely the opposite of what they believe in, right? Case in point, his quote unquote adopted foster father, right? He's teaching him everything that the church wants him to teach, but deep down he would never accept it, but he would also never let anyone else know about it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's have this conversation next episode between him and I forget his name, his foster father. Some hard truths to be found here. But yeah, again, pretty interesting, very amazing episode. I love the slow burn nature of all the questions it raises, the moral, theological implications, the discoveries that Raphael is making, and I just hope that he stays away from that Inquisitor, because we see his story being weaved along with him. So yeah, he's the only big threat that we see so far. But yeah, let's see what happens in the next episode. I gotta scram. Bye.